Welcome to Mr. English Hub, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Our job here is to sift through different resources, transcripts, lessons, notes, and really pull out the clearest, most useful bits of knowledge. We want to give you a shortcut to being, well, informed and confident. Today, we're diving into something that is, I think, maybe the single most powerful tool for any beginner English speaker, describing your daily routine.
It sounds basic, maybe, but it really is the ultimate conversational building block. We've looked at real routines from Paul, Emily, Sarah in our source materials and, found the common threads. We're not just giving you a vocabulary list today. This is more like a reusable script.
Exactly. A script or maybe a recipe. That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, a recipe is a good way to put it. Our mission is to kind of distill that core structure, morning, work, evening, and highlight the one grammar rule that really holds it all together. If you can get the hang of the structure we talk about today, you can introduce yourself, talk about your life, well, pretty much instantly, and sound confident doing it.
Okay, so let's give away the secret right at the start. The big insight.
Let's do it. Here it is. Pretty much every single action in a typical daily routine uses the present simple tense. That's the grammatical lens we're using today.
Right, the present simple. Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's jump right into the morning because actually even the first few verbs need a little bit of care, don't they?
They really do. It's interesting how the routines we looked at immediately make a distinction. It's wake up versus get out of bed.
Yeah, I saw that. Why is that specific difference important for someone just starting out with English?
Well, it's about precision, isn't it? Being clear. Wake up is more sensory. It's when your eyes open. Maybe you check your phone, maybe hit the snooze button like one of our examples Paul mentioned. He wakes up around 6:30 or 7:0, but that doesn't mean the active part of the day has begun.
Right, so waking up is passive, almost.
Kind of, yeah. The day really kicks off when you physically get out of bed. That's the action. You might lie there for, 15 minutes after your eyes open before you actually get up. And see, both verbs, wake up, get up, are in that present simple tense we mentioned. I wake up, I get up, sets the order.
Okay, makes sense. So once you're physically up, what comes next? Looks like some pretty universal stuff.
Absolutely. High priority vocabulary here because almost everyone does these things. Go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and wash my face. These actions are repeated daily, which makes them really good anchors for your memory. Easy to learn.
Definitely. And then the kitchen. I noticed another key difference there in the verbs used around breakfast.
Yes. This is a common point of confusion. It's the difference between make breakfast and have breakfast.
Okay, explain that one.
So make is the action of preparing it, cooking it, putting it together. Paul, in the source material, often makes coffee and toast. That's the creation part. Well, in this context, have just means eat or drink. Consume. Emily has tea and cereal.
Ah, right. So you can describe the preparation or the eating.
Exactly. Two different angles using simple, clear verbs, both present simple again. I make, I have.
And I noticed the examples kept the meals really simple: coffee, toast, cereal, maybe some fruit like an apple or a banana.
Yeah, and that simplicity helps learners, I think. The simpler the meal, the easier it is to remember the phrase, I have toast, or I make coffee.
Good point. Okay, so after breakfast, we're getting ready to face the day. What about clothes?
Right. The sources use some great practical vocabulary here. The main one is get dressed. That means putting on your main clothes. Then you might add layers. And for that, the phrase is always put on, like put on shoes or put on a coat or jacket if it's cold.
Put on. Got it. Consistent.
Very. And that leads us smoothly out the door, usually. You leave the house.
And you go to work. But wait, the sources showed a split here, didn't they? Reflecting modern life.
They did, and this is really useful for learners now. It wasn't just one way. Well, Emily works in an office, so she has to take the bus or maybe drive. That's one path. But Paul sometimes works from home. So right away, a learner gets both options. Go to work and work from home.
So the basic structure handles both office work and remote work easily.
Exactly. You just swap the verb phrase. The grammar, that present simple, stays the same. She goes to work, he works from home.
Okay, so now we're at work, whether that's an office desk or the kitchen table. Let's talk about the verbs that fill up the main part of the day.
Yeah, this is where the routine structure really shines because work actions are often quite repetitive. The source materials consistently brought up maybe 4 core professional verbs.
Okay, what were they?
Things like sit at my desk, work on my computer, answer emails, and write reports.
Right, classic office tasks. And again, easy to slot into that structure. I sit at my desk, I answer emails. Simple.
Very simple. And for teamwork, there's another essential verb, have meetings. The sources made it clear meetings are just when people get together to talk about work. Doesn't matter if they're online meetings or face-to-face, the verb is have.
I have meetings.
Okay.
And what if your job is different? Like Paul mentioned, sometimes he'd write articles or prepare lessons.
That just shows the flexibility. You substitute your specific job task for the general ones. Write articles, prepare lessons, teach students, serve customers. The structure I verb works for all of them.
Perfect. Okay, so regardless of the job, everyone needs a break, midday, lunchtime.
Yes, the midday pause. And the action verb is consistent again. I have lunch, usually around, 12:00 or 1 p.m.?
Sounds about right. And the options for lunch are good conversation starters too.
Definitely. Do you have something light, like a sandwich or a salad? Those were mentioned as healthy options. Or maybe you bring my lunch from home. That's one way. Or perhaps you go out to eat.
See, lots of possibilities branching off that simple I have lunch core.
Exactly. And once lunch is over, the standard phrase to get back into the afternoon is go back to work.
Right, until the end of the workday. Which brings us neatly into the evening routine. This felt like where things get a bit more relaxed, maybe more personal.
I think so. You could almost feel the relief in the source descriptions when they talked about finish work and then go home. That phrase, go home, has a nice feeling, doesn't it?
It really does. So going home kicks off relaxation, but also chores.
The balance of modern life. Yeah, the core relaxation verbs are pretty straightforward. Relax on the sofa, watch TV, maybe watch a movie. These are about disconnecting, which the sources noted is really important after work or on weekends.
Makes sense. Then comes dinner.
Right. Usually you cook dinner. The examples were simple again. Things like pasta or a simple soup. But I liked that Paul's example mentioned trying new recipes, even a favorite fish dish. Adding that little detail makes it more engaging.
It does. It makes it more real. And if you don't feel like cooking.
The easy alternative. Order takeout. Simple as that.
But whether you cook or order, there's often one chore left.
Ah, yes. The dreaded wash the dishes.
And I love the little note in one of the descriptions.
Yeah.
Not my favorite activity, but it has to be done.
Haha, yes, that phrase, it has to be done. That's conversational gold. You can use that for any chore you don't like.
Totally stealing that one. Okay, so dishes are done. What else happens in the evening before bed?
Oh, well, the sources listed typical wind-down activities, hobbies, things like read a book, which someone noted helps with sleep. Also, talk to my family or friends, maybe go for a walk if you want some light exercise, or just listen to music, something relaxing.
Nice range of options there. And final steps.
Bring it full circle, the final hygiene check, brush my teeth again, good habit. And then finally, you go to bed. The typical times mentioned were around 10 p.m., maybe up to 11:30 p.m.
Okay, wow. So we've walked through an entire day, from wake up right through to go to bed. That's a lot of useful verbs.
It is. Dozens of essential actions. But, like we said at the start, the list itself isn't the magic trick. It's the structure.
Right. Now we get to the shortcut, the non-negotiable part.
This is it. We talked about making coffee, writing reports, cooking fish, relaxing on the sofa. A huge range of activities. What's amazing for the learner is that the language structure, the grammar, it just stays the same.
So remind us again, what is that structure?
Every single one of those actions uses only the present simple tense. That's the tense for habits, routines, facts, things you do regularly. You don't need past tense. You don't need future tense to describe your typical day. It's just the present simple.
And that is the conversation recipe we promised. The basic formula is just I verb at time.
Exactly. The verb stays in its base form, the simple form. So I start work at 9 a.m. or I watch TV at 8 p.m.
And the power comes from swapping things out. If you don't work.
No problem. You just swap the verb. I go to school at 8 a.m. or maybe I study at the library. You keep the I and you plug in the verb that matches your life. I study, I cook, I read, I relax.
It sounds so straightforward.
Sure.
But
yeah,
there's always a but in grammar, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's one little thing that trips people up.
Ah, yes. The one crucial rule you have to remember with the present simple. It's easy for I, you, we, and they. But when you talk about someone else, one other person.
You mean he, she, or it.
Exactly. For he, she, or it, you have to add an S to the end of the verb. That's the rule.
Okay, give us an example.
Sure. If I say I cook dinner, but I'm talking about my sister Emily, I have to say she cooks dinner. See the S. If Paul has tea, but his friend Sarah has coffee, well, have is irregular. It becomes has. Sarah has coffee.
Ah, right. So cook becomes cooks, work becomes works, go becomes goes, have becomes has. That little S is key.
It's the signal that you're talking about one other person or thing in the present. Nailing that S is a huge step towards sounding accurate.
Let's just practice that shift quickly. If I say, I work on my computer, what if I'm talking about, say, my boss?
Then it becomes, he works on his computer, or she works on her computer. You need the S.
Okay. If I say, we go for a walk, and I mean my neighbor, just one person.
You'd say, she goes for a walk, or he goes for a walk.
Got it. So master the I verb structure, and remember that S for he height. That's the core grammar takeaway.
That is the absolute core grammar for talking about routines. If you can do that, you're well on your way.
Okay, but a routine isn't just a list of, I do this, I do that. How do you make it flow like a story?
Good question. You need one more tool. The sources highlighted these connecting words quite clearly. You can't just list verbs.
Right, you need the signposts, the transition words.
Exactly. Navigational guideposts. Words that string the actions together in time. Simple words like first, then, after that. You can also use words like sometimes or usually to show how often you do something. Adds a bit more detail.
So putting it together, first I wake up, then I brush my teeth. After that, I have breakfast.
Precisely. Using those connectors turns your list of actions into a smooth narrative that's easy for someone to follow. That's the complete blueprint.
Wow. Okay, so that really is a full recipe.
Yeah.
The verbs, the I verb structure with the S rule, and the connecting words covers the whole day.
It really does, from the moment your eyes open till they close again.
So for you listening, the practical step now is, well, to use it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take this blueprint, this structure, I verb, and describe your own day. What do you do? And we really recommend writing it down first. Actually, writing helps you choose the right verbs for your life, and honestly, it helps lock those present simple phrases into your memory much better than just listening.
Good advice. Write it down. Okay, so we've covered the actions, the grammar, the flow. What's the final thought? What's the next step for someone who masters this?
Well, we focus a lot on the actions themselves, right, what you do and when. But to add another layer of naturalness and detail, think about how often you do these things, the frequency.
Okay, so not just I watch TV, but...
Exactly. Take the routine you just wrote down, using the present simple, and start adding in adverbs of frequency. Simple words like always, usually, often, sometimes, never. So instead of I watch TV, maybe it's I often watch TV. Or sometimes cook dinner, maybe I always brush my teeth.
That adds nuance, doesn't it? Makes it sound more specific, more real.
It does. It takes that basic recipe and just makes your English sound richer, more detailed, more like natural conversation. It builds directly on the present simple foundation.
That's a fantastic challenge. A great way to build on everything we've covered. Well, thank you for tuning into this deep dive. We hope that recipe helps you out.
Keep practicing your English and have a wonderful day. Bye for now, everyone.